Hello everyone, welcome to FC Mocha's Venture. This time to like, comment, subscribe. Guys, there's been some concerns from one of the media powerhouses in Robert Marawa. He's very concerned about Kaizer Chiefs, how they play and how the market treats Kaizer Chiefs and how Kaizer Chiefs buy at times, because he feels like Kaizer Chiefs haven't been buying very well. They've been buying for the coaches. They've been supporting the coaches. You know that Marawa is vocal and he's making sense. He's not one of those who uses emotions and be biased, because we know that he's supporting Orlando Pirates. But you never see that, because how he speaks for the love of soccer, for the love of sports itself, like he's always vocal and balance his emotions, and he's always one of those who's pushing everyone, encouraging everyone. Like now, we are told that on social media that this guy, there's this young boy, is calling himself Eye of God or something, the photographer. I forgot his other name than the one that is famous about. So Marawa had that ticket to go and watch Manchester City, I think with Tottenham if I'm mistaken, but it was Manchester City and this other club. What he did, he gave his ticket to this guy, Vino. He gave his ticket to Vino, and it's like, you know what, go and take the best pictures. I want to expose you to this environment. I mean, Manchester City, whether we like it or not, is one of the best teams, if not the best team in England. They are the best team in England. They're the current champions as well. So for Marawa to give Vino an opportunity to go and take photos for Manchester City, you'll be taking photos of your Bernardo Silva, of your Gudawan, your Haaland, your Anderson, and everyone. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. But in any case, I'm talking about this guy who is so supportive, who's loving, and who loves this team, who loves the sports as well. So talk about Kaizer Chiefs. He says that Kaizer Chiefs will struggle in the market in January. He's stating his reasons why he's saying that. So I'm going to go through the article and I want to hear what you have to say about this article. I'll tell you what I have to say about this article, though I have said just a bit of what I'm thinking, but I'm going to go in detail. Marawa believes that Chiefs will struggle to secure players in January, because teams will be charging huge amounts of money. Robert Marawa predicts that Kaizer Chiefs struggles in January. There will be struggles in Kaizer Chiefs in this January window that is opening. Look, I'm telling you, Kaizer Chiefs won't make more than 3 signings in January 7 in the January transfer window. It's going to be a tough window for them, says the renowned sports pundit Robert Marawa. He goes on to explain why Kaizer Chiefs will face significant challenges in the acquiring of players. Most PSL teams are well aware of Kaizer Chiefs, well aware of how desperate Chiefs are for the new signings. And let me tell you, they are not going to make it easy for them. Clubs know that Kaizer Chiefs need players, and they'll be looking to cash in on that. We are talking about players going over 15 million or more, not less. There's no way that they will be getting discounts Marawa adds. In particular, Marawa highlights the situation around Apolis from Polokwane City. As for Apolis, Polokwane City could be asking for 25 million for him. Chiefs are going to have to pay top dollar if they want to lend some of these players. The veteran pundit believes the Kaizer Chiefs need to splash out a significant sum if they hope to improve their squad. I wouldn't be surprised if they need 100 million to secure at least 4 top quality players. And what they need most are 2 leather strikers and at least 2 creative midfielders, Marawa says, offering a clear insight into what Chiefs need to strengthen their team. With the transfer window fast approaching, it seems the pressure is mounting on Kaizer Chiefs to spend big if they want to compete with the best. Marawa analysis underscores just how tough it would be for the club to navigate the January market and secure the players they need. So there are a few points that I want to speak about. One, he says that Kaizer Chiefs won't sign more than 3 players. So when he says that Kaizer Chiefs will not sign more than 3 players, Is he talking about us going to buy players here in SA, and he's not referring, or he's not talking about going to buy outside? I don't know. Kaizer Chiefs can buy even 5 or 7 players this current window. We know in the previous window, we signed plus minus 6 or so players. So if that was the case, what will stop Kaizer Chiefs from doing that? In the highlight says that it'll be hard for Kaizer Chiefs to buy more than 3 players, because why? These teams would be selling players at like expensive prices. Like they'll put like an unjustifiable price tag on top of these players. So that's why he's saying that you buy less. However, I still believe that we can buy more if we are to buy even outside. So we are to look at Apollos, and he's saying that he's raising a point. Number 2, he's raising a point that is so important, saying that this guy will be charged or will be priced at 25 million. Why? Because Polokwane will be spiting Kaizer Chiefs. Why? Because they know that Kaizer Chiefs is desperate, and therefore they have to fork out cash. And that is true. Why this is true? Because players, they don't release players normally during the mid-term or mid-season. Reason being because they plan for these players. They plan to say, okay, you know what? We are planning the season with this guy. This guy can only leave at the end of the season. But if our hand is twisted, therefore, we're going to charge more than the current transfer market price. So that's why Kaizer Chiefs will struggle, because we need Apollos. We want Apollos. We've been admirers for Apollos. So for now, if he's charged at 25 million, will we do a take or leave it, or will we then pay that amount? Remember, this guy at the beginning of the season was priced at 10 million or so. Yes, they played hard to get for us to get him. And then now Marawa is saying that they might charge 25 million. Then meaning what? It's an increase of 15 million. Is he worth 25 million in a person? No. Why? Why is he not worth that much? Because look at the price for this league. How much is it? 1. And then also look at the fact that how many times has he played at Polokwane? What has he won at Polokwane? Yes, now it's Bafana International, but it's not even 50 caps yet. So it's not going to be justifiable to put 25 million, for example. But Marawa is making an estimate. He's just making estimates, not saying that it's going to be exact price. But that price, it might be true, say that Polokwane does put that price on his head, will be to chase Kaizer Chiefs away. Not necessarily that is his necessary price, but they are to chase Kaizer Chiefs away. It might be the same with other players that we are looking at, because they might be paying or putting prices that are unexplainable or unjustifiable. So we must be prepared for such. And when such happens, please be cautious as well when we're talking about, when we saying that these players, their prices will be like skyrocketed. So if Kaizer Chiefs decides to pull out of those negotiations, please understand that Kaizer Chiefs are not pulling out of those negotiations because they can't negotiate, but it's because some teams, they will charge prices that are not like making sense. So be aware of that. But I can say to you that we will get more than 3 players. We'll get 4 or 5, especially if we are going outside, and especially if we go to clubs that are not known. And we go to players that are not even known, because we'll be looking at the quality that is needed at Kaizer Chiefs, that is going with what the coach needs. Looking at how these coaches, how Nabi wants to play football, and then we'll be looking at the player that was even forgotten in their clubs. And therefore, that means those players, because their prices will be less than others, so therefore we'll get those players. So that's why I'm saying that we get more than 1 player. And then he goes on to say that Kaizer Chiefs will need to spend at least 100 million in this window. I hear what he's saying, because he wants us to compete, and therefore splashing 100 million, it looks like it's a deal that, it's an amount that we can spend for us to compete. But sometimes money doesn't solve everything. Sometimes the attitude of the current players that you have. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go because these players, they need to change their attitude and whatnot. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying that we have seen in clubs like Newcastle, for example, they have like the oil money, like Manchester City, for example, but still they're not competing. They're not finishing top four. So money doesn't solve everything. However, it's good to have money and spend money, but we need to be careful that you don't end up spending money reckless. So having 100 million, it can be done. However, do we really need to spend 100 million? I don't think so. That's why we need to go and buy these players even in Africa, sell current foreign players that are not playing or that are not in the coach's plans. So for me, I'll say that in as much as I hear these points that this guy is making, Marawa, by the end of the day, Kaizer Chiefs have their own targets and they have money that they put aside for Nabi to buy in January. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be an easy market. However, as fans, we need to be patient. Yes, we want Apollos, we want all these other players, but we need to be patient with that team. So who do you think that we should go for and who do you think that we will buy?